Welcome to another requested work solution, and here we have question 18 from the May 2014 Time Zone 1 Paper 2 past paper. And what we have here is we have a solid cone, all right, with the back. So they've drawn here, we've got a solid cone here, we've got the we've got the radius, and we've got the perpendicular height, and we have a similar cone, all right, which is removed from the top as shown in the diagram. And the volume of the cone that is removed is 1/8 of the volume of the original cone. All right, so we know that this is the volume of this is 1/8 the volume of the original cone. Explain why the cone that is removed has a radius of 2 centimeters and a height of 5 centimeters. Okay, so this is where we need to talk about scale factor. All right, now generally in mathematics, let's go here. Let's go black flavor. Generally in mathematics, we use K to represent scale factor. Okay, scale factor. And we've just been given a scale factor for the volume. Okay, so if we're talking about the volume, so that's going to be our K cubed, okay, which is our volume scale factor. All right, so we know that our volume scale factor is equal to, and we're being given, 1/8. Okay, now explain why the cone that is removed has a radius of 2 centimeters and a height of 5 centimeters. So we're talking about now, this is to do with volume, but we want to know the scale factor of length. All right, so we don't want the K3 or the K cubed, we want just the K, just the length scale factor. All right, now how do I go from K cubed to K? Well, I'm going to take the cubed root. All right, so to go from here to here, I'm going to use the cubed root. All right, so I'm going to do the same thing to my volume scale factor here, is I'm going to take the cubed root of 1/8. All right, and that'll be, that you'll find is going to be equal to 1/2. So our scale factor is actually 1/2. And if we apply that to, we multiply our scale factor by our lengths, all right, so if we have 4 centimeters multiplied by 1/2, that's going to equal 2 centimeters. And if we multiply our height, which is 10 centimeters, by our scale factor, which is 1/2, that will give us 5 centimeters. And we've just shown mathematically why this will be 2 centimeters here, and this will be 5 centimeters there. Okay, let's go down to the second part of the question. Now the second part of the question says calculate the volume of the remaining solid. So calculate the volume of the remaining solid. Now for this we need to know the volume of a cone, and fantastically we've been given it. All right, and what we should know is that the volume, or the final volume, let's call it the final volume, is going to be equal to the volume of the original one, or the big one, minus the volume of the similar cone. Okay, so it's going to be, we're looking at the volume of it in its entirety, minus this part that we're taking off here to find our final volume. So all we need to do in this situation is we just need to apply the formula. So we can say that the volume of the first one will be equal to 1/3 times pi times the radius squared. Now the radius of our original one is 4 centimeters, so it's going to be 4 squared, multiplied by the height. which we know to be 10. All right, so this is the volume formula for the original one, and we're going to take away the volume of the smaller one. And so that's going to be equal to 1/3 multiplied by pi multiplied by, now we were given the radius. We know that the radius of the smaller one's 2 centimetres. So that's going to be 2 centimetres squared multiplied by our new height, which was 5. Okay. Now you can do all of that in your calculator if you like. But I'll end up with being pi over 3, just multiplying these out, multiplied by 4 4s are 16, multiplied by 10, which is 160. All right. Minus pi over 3, okay, times 2 squared, which is 4, times 5, which is 20. All right. So that will be 160 pi over 3 minus 20 pi over 3, which is equal to 140 pi over 3. Now, on your calculator, you can just plug that in, and you should get an approximate, I think it's 146.5, I think 146.5 or something along those lines, but for 3 significant figures, you should be giving approximate to 147 centimetres, and we're talking about volume cubed. Now, if you need any more clarification, or there's another question that you would like me to do, please just comment below and let me know. And thanks for watching. Have a great day.